And so now there have been all sorts of nuts coming out of the woodwork to defend the flag for all sorts of different reasons. And Don Lemon on CNN actually hosted the chairman of the South Carolina White Nationalist League of the South to defend the Confederate flag. And they brought on this guy named Pat Hines. And Pat had all sorts of stuff to say about the Confederate flag, including that he doesn't even think that the U.S. flag, that the American flag, should be flown at state capitals because of, quote, states' rights. And then he went on, and this is the key part that I'm going to play for you here. He says that taking down the Confederate flag from the South Carolina State Capitol building would be cultural genocide against white people. Here's Pat Hines.
I want to ask Mr. Hines that, Walmart is a very big company and they're very powerful, and they say that they won't sell Confederate flags, any type of merchandise in their store. Many people think it's a watershed moment. What do you think of it?
Well, the sun doesn't rise and set on what Walmart decides. Some places they don't sell guns and ammunition anymore. Some places they do. I don't really have anything else to say about Walmart. It is a Southern company at one time, but I doubt it is now. What I don't understand is why this state senator is moving to do cultural genocide on the Southern men and women. I don't get that. Maybe he's not from the South. I don't really know him. But I can tell you, I'm going to fight.
So absurd, Mr. Hines. The suggestion somehow that taking down the flag is cultural genocide when that flag represents terror and intimidation of African Americans in that state is just unbelievable that you would have the audacity to say that.
Right, Lewis, because it's important for white folks like Pat Hines to be reminded that they once enslaved an entire segment of society with impunity. If not for this reminder, white people would lose their culture in a genocide.
He'll be damned if we forget about all of his relatives who fought to make sure that slavery keeps happening.
It's just incredible. It is opposite world. It's projection to the nth degree in the minds of so many right-wingers. The Confederate flag isn't racist, but taking it down is cultural genocide, a form of racism in this case, because it's whites who are being destroyed. It's the same as, hey, we don't want abortion, but we want birth control really difficult to get and expensive, and we don't want a reasonable sex education in schools. Or we want a better economy, but we want to do it by giving tax cuts to the rich, which doesn't stimulate the economy. It's just another instance of opposite bizarro world on the conservative side.
Yeah, I'd argue that if every Confederate flag in the world just spontaneously disappeared, it would pretty much have zero impact on white culture in the United States.
Of course. I would love to hear about specifically how it would impact white culture. And quite frankly, it's just offensive what he's saying. To use the term genocide, a term that can describe so many actual genocides, to say that just losing our historical symbol associated with racism is going to be a form of genocide is patently offensive, and it belittles the actual genocides of history.
I think so. I guess one could make the argument that if you get rid of the flag, we might forget all about that and forget that it happened, and that it's important to keep the flag here to remember those historical lessons. But I would say that that's nonsense.